Okay, welcome back. So the market's down 3 points. I mean, it's absolutely flat right now. Okay, we have IT, which is, the focus, absolutely the focus over the last so many days now. Earnings have been pretty strong overall. Expectations have been elevated, and at the margin, maybe people are now starting to ask the question whether, things are already in the price. But let's wrap up the Q1 earnings season for IT so far. Reema, over to you.
Well, it's been strong, especially on the top line. Across the board, we've seen beats by the IT companies, both large cap as well as mid cap. The only miss came in the form of TCS, where the business was impacted due to the India and APAC region COVID-related issues. But X of that, the core verticals and markets went up by 4.1% for TCS, so that was also fine. Cyient was the only disappointment. What we have seen is some moderation in deal wins, which raises the question, is that were the strong deal wins in Q3 and Q4 of last year due to pent-up demand? And that is a trend that the street will monitor very closely. For both TCS as Wipro, we've seen a decline in their deal wins in this quarter. And for Infosys, it looks like an increase, if you compare it on a quarter-on-quarter basis, but that's also because last quarter was depressed. Infy's deal wins this quarter are in line with the last few quarters. And if deal wins indeed are moderating, it raises question on the future growth prospects. What we've seen across the board has been a sharp increase in the attrition, and these are big numbers. So for instance, in large cap space, both Infy and Wipro have seen a more than 300 basis points increase in their attrition. On the mid cap end of trade, the picture is equally bad. So something like Tata Elxsi now has an attrition increase in its attrition rate by 360 basis points. L&T Infotech as well as L&T Technology have attrition rates of nearly 15%. So that, of course, is a worry from an industry point of view, Prashant.
Thanks very much, Reema. Let's welcome in the management of WNS. And WNS, by the way, also reported numbers yesterday. And for the first quarter, numbers are super strong. Earnings are up some 80%. Keshav Murugesh is Group CEO of WNS. He's joining us right now. He's also served as, head of the industry body, NASSCOM, earlier. Now, WNS, of course, is more BPO and KPO in terms of services it provides. But Keshav, you are at a vantage point where you can broadly talk about what's happening in the industry. So much excitement in terms of, IT spends which are going up. This digital thing we've been talking about now for the last couple of years. Where are we at in this upcycle, in your opinion?
So Prashant, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure to be here on the show with you all. I must tell you the good news. I think IT and BPM are back and with a bang. And it is essentially because of the way these companies and India delivered during this pandemic. If you just go back maybe a year or so, you will appreciate that when the pandemic broke out, everyone was scurrying for a new model which could operate from home. We actually tested that model. We demonstrated that we could deliver against that model. And fast forward a year, we have shown the world that India can deliver against any complexity in the most delightful way. And two things are happening. First and foremost, all of us as companies have invested very strongly in automation, technology, and great people, and digital transformation. And the second thing that many companies, including WNS, has done really is around co-creating solutions with clients and delivering those clients in a remote fashion in such a way that they have built a lot of confidence in the minds of clients. And that is what is actually driving this renewed demand. Anyone who has not dipped their toes in this model is now scrambling to get after this model before a next wave hits. And those who are already in this model are so comfortable with how we have delivered that they are saying, let me expand beyond my original scope. And that is the kind of phenomena you are seeing at an industry level, including at WNS.
Absolutely. That sentiment of, the way Indian companies have managed COVID by ensuring, absolutely minimal or no disruption, even in the toughest times, is, being applauded by so many of the clients, and it does go a long way in strengthening the relationship between the client as well as the IT companies. That point, sir, is absolutely well taken. But could you talk a little bit more about the supply side situation? As we were just putting out prior to talking with you, attrition is clearly a concern, and it's being vocalized by all the top managements now.
Naturally, attrition will be a concern when the sector is hot, when demand is back, when the world is demanding digital transformation, when technology is king, where the pandemic was serviced only by digital first models, you now realize that the whole world is now looking to Indian companies and tech companies to actually provide future-proof solutions. Now, when that happens, obviously, attrition will spike because demand for talent, dramatically goes up. And again, I will say that this demand for talent is essentially around some specific areas. It's around digital, it's around transformation, it is around some specific domain areas. But I can tell you, while all of us may be talking a lot about it, we also have the right models in place in order to ensure that over a period of time, we lift this problem. And our upskilling, reskilling programs that we have created at an industry level and at an individual company level are all resonating well. Domain is now king again. And you should expect that there is also a huge move of people from other industries into the IT sector. So as a result of which, over a period of time, I think all of this will get evened out. Look, this is a sector which during the biggest pandemic that the world has seen has actually shown growth, has shown stability, has actually shown that we can pivot to a completely new model and create new excitement and new market cap, which we have never seen before. And that's the kind of industry everybody wants to work in. So I would expect to see people gravitating away from other industries into this industry as well. And look at it, we are all working from home. I mean, look behind me, this is my home. I'm working from my residence and we're doing it so easily. That's the beauty of our industry. And everybody wants to be a part of this industry.
Okay. Some pessimists are saying that the strong deal wins are due to pent-up demand. Your thoughts on the sustainability of deal wins?
I think very, very sustainable. I think the first thing that we should focus on is the fact that pre-pandemic, the industry focused very, very strongly on some of the models I spoke about. First and foremost, enhancing knowledge of domains. The second thing is investing in new technology areas. Third thing, driving new transformational agenda for clients. And so while clients have started actually, delivering in terms of buying these new deals, the COVID pandemic came in. And therefore, what has actually happened is during the pandemic, they have watched how we have actually delivered. And today, if you ask me, every traditional business that we now operate in has transformed into a digital first model. I mean, look at how you buy an insurance policy. You don't meet a person anymore. You now, go to a self-service portal first, powered by people like us. You want to buy your groceries or whatever, you go to Amazon or you go to a big basket or you use a digital first model to get there. You want to buy an airline ticket or, book a hotel, you go to a digital, kind of an OTA model to do it. And similarly, every traditional business now is being powered by technology and being transformed. And so when you talk about demand, it is obviously pent-up demand, but it is also demand from customers and prospects who fear, who are actually fearing that they're missing the opportunity before the next wave comes. So I think this demand is here to stay for a while.
Thank you, sir, for joining in and sharing your valuable expertise. And that point is taken. So many companies are now gravitating towards being a digital company. So, for instance, Angel Broking is also now positioning itself as a fintech company. They're changing their name to Angel One Fintech, and they've also added an independent director with technology experience. It just shows the strength of this digital transformation and the digital age that we're currently in. Get into a break on that note. On the other side, we'll get you more in the market. Stay tuned.